Welcome back to the Jamano English news presentations. I am Adam Enjoy, and our headlines today from the Standard newspaper are as follows. Teachers get 15 years for trafficking students. First Lady tells African leaders to prioritize good governance. CFA hike over Dalasis caused by Gambia goods coming from through Dakar Port, Central Bank. The GRA trained more staff on tax digitalization. And now the news on details. Teachers get 15 years for trafficking students by Lamin Chairman Aisha Tamba. In a dramatic Logmark case, a school teacher has been sentenced for 15 years in prison for facilitating a school trip that led to trafficking of his students, a girl in Mauritania. The trial, which started in February 2020 before Justice ATOC, lasted all over 2 years, during which the court had dramatic account of how the much anticipated school trip ended in a disaster for one of the students. According to it, the victim, now 21, said she was a student in grade 11 and a member of the school's drama troupe. She said in 2019, Mr. Jada informed her of a school trip to Ghana that he had arranged with the departure date of 31st July, which he later brought forward in July 29, 2019. She testified that Mr. Jada asked her to join the trip and arranged for her to meet him in Barra to join other students for the trip, but later informed her that the boss leaving for Ghana had left, but he promised to get her out of the vehicle. The victim said they were instead taken to Mauritania, where they were kept as sex slaves, exploited for the pleasure of men who masked their face each time they came to have sex with them, making it impossible to identify them. The victim told the court that in her case, the man usually dragged her, and each time she woke up, she would discover that she had been sexually abused. She said after enduring terrible routine of sexual exploitation for 5 months, she decided to risk her life by planning to escape the route. She managed to escape from her captors. One day, as they were praying behind her room, I scaled the walls in the room and snuck through the window to escape. She told the court. She explained that her mother arranged for her uncle in Senegal to get her over to Dakar, where she was taken to hospital, medically examined, and found to be 2.5 months pregnant. The victim tendered the laboratory test results in evidence as an exhibit and saw the court the baby from the pregnancy, who was 9 months old. She told the court that she does not know the father of her child, since her rapists were in masks and always get her dragged before facing themselves on her. The victim said her education too was halted because of what happened to her, lamenting that she had not suffered this experience. She would probably be a college now. In his plea of mitigation, the counsel of the accused pleaded to the court to deal with his client leniently, since he is a first-time offender and a teacher who is having a positive impact on the life of many young children. In rebuttal, the state lawyer argued that since the accused person is attracted to young persons, it will be dangerous to release him to society to unleash his criminal act onto other innocent girls. After the judgment, passing judgment, Justice ATOC said the offense of human trafficking, particularly sex mutilations of young girls, is becoming too rampant not only in the Gambia but also in the entire subcontinent, and may get out of hand if the court do not stand up to and with the culprits and dealt with them ruthlessly. He pointed out that the victim in this case is going to live with the agony of bringing up a baby she never bargained for all her life. It is all said that she is not giving good work and does not know the father of her baby. Justice also added that her hopes for the acquiring a good education and a brighter future have been blighted because of the accused person. Nevertheless, I have given a sympathetic thought to the player of mitigation by the accused person lawyer and will give the minimum custodial sentence under the law. Accordingly, the accused person is hereby sentenced to an imprisonment of 15 years and a fine of 100,000 in a default to further imprisonment terms of 40 months. The judge concluded. The counsel M.T. Gomez and Duanda appeared for the state, while counsel T.B. Jallo appeared for the accused. That was the story of the teacher who is sentenced for 15 years for trafficking students. The First Lady tells African leaders to prioritize good governance. According to Fatoumata Barrow, the First Lady of the Gambia, President First Lady Barrow has urged African leaders to rethink about the continent's priorities and strategies in order to achieve the collective objective of Africa's development. Madam Barrow was addressing the Warwick Africa Summit hosted in the United Kingdom. We need to rethink our priorities and strategize in an innovative manner to ensure that we reach our collective goal for Africa's development in a practical manner. African governments have to tackle this issue head on head by working together with the development partners to ensure good governance, financial prudence in the government, rule of law and education of our vast useful population that can be our engine of growth. She added that youths are the backbone of any society, therefore we have to transition from being the mining fields of the world to a training center that we were centuries ago. Madam Fatoumata Barrow further noted that governments partnering with the private sector to create employment through beneficial ventures is far more beneficial as opposed to the previous system of exporting raw materials unprocessed and undeveloped. She said the young entrepreneurs, including women, should be supported in these ventures. These are the methods that we need to fight against poverty and transform our continent, she said. On the severe hike over Dalasis caused by the importation of Gambian goods through the port of Dakar by the Central Bank of the Gambia, according to the Standard newspaper, the governor of the Gambia Central Bank, Bua Sedi, has explained that the current depreciation of the Gambian Dalasis against the CFA franc is caused by, among other things, the increased usage of the Dakar port for the goods destined for Gambia. The demand for major foreign currency like the CFA franc, euro and the USA dollars to import basic food and non-food commodities have led to the substantial shortage in the Gambian market as it continues to drive inflation and interest rates hike. Many Gambians blame the government for failing to institute sound economic policy as well as failing to address the structural challenges at the Banjul ports and attendance high tariff for importers which saw high volumes of goods bound for Gambia being transited through Dakar. Speaking to journalists at the Central Bank's MPC yesterday, Governor Bua Sedi said the situation of the CFA in the Gambia is a bit tricky because it is not in our official foreign exchange market. The Francophone countries have the bulk of their reserve at the French Treasury, and when the euro was created, the Central Bank of West African states made a pronouncement that shipments of CFA from the third countries for compensation would not be honored. As a result of that, CFA is not quoted in the Gambian foreign exchange market. Banks in the Gambia are not trading in CFA and the Central Bank doesn't have CFA as part of our reserve currency, the governor said. He said the Central Bank could have intervened to slow down the ongoing depreciation of the Dalasis against the CFA, but the bank is limited since it does not have a stock of CFA. The CFA is traded in the country, but it is not in the official foreign exchange market, so the depreciation of the Dalasis against the CFA is a recent occurrence, and this is because of what is happening in the Gambia economic, attributed to a structural rigidities at the Banjul port. The port is a major structural bottleneck, and that is an open secret, but the Gambia authorities are working on that. Some of the goods destined for Gambia are landed at the port of Dakar. If the importers have to go and clear their goods from Dakar, they need CFA, so that is increasing the demand for CFA and is so factored that a factor in the recent depreciations of the Dalasis against the CFA. We also have most of our goods coming from Senegal, especially vegetable and other construction materials, the governor stated. He explained that the depreciation of Dalasis against the US dollar, euro and pounds are due to developments in the global economy. The advanced countries have to tighten their monetary policies to fight inflation, and as a result, interest rates in these countries went up and demand for their currency increased as a result of that Gambian Dalasis weakened against this international currency, he added. Now onto the GRA trains more staff on digitalizations of the tax collection. According to the Standard newspaper, the GRA also African Development Bank, Wednesday Divinson, GRA trains more staff on the digitalizations of the tax without more standard. On the newspaper, we have also the CFA takes over Dalasis. But that is not enough for the trends of the government. We have also, as the country is graduating prioritizing tax digitalization, the Gambia Revenue Authority is preparing its staff for the challenges ahead. At least two staff drawn from GRA and clearing agents are currently undergoing a 5-day intensive training on the Harmonized Commodity Descriptions and Coding System, also known as Harmonized System. The SH is a tariff nomenclature of an international standardized system of names and numbers to classify traded products. The 5-day training is funded by the World Customs Organization and the European Union Cooperation Fund. Daniel Gadozo, the WCO expert, lead trainer, and commended the GRA for moving fast in its digitalization process, especially in the areas of capacity building. The harmonized system is one of the most successful instruments developed by the World Customs Organization, and it is used by more than 200 countries as the basis for the custom tariff and compliance of international trade statistics. He said the participants will be engaged in commodity classification, application, and general interpretation rules. Addressing participants, Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo said as a state party and implementing agency, the Gambia governments and GRA are committed to ensuring a smooth transition from the HS 2022 version, saying as a transition is only possible through capacity building of both custom officers and clearing agents. The CG, the Commissioner General Dabo, said the general interpretations of the rules and are governed by the classification of goods under the Harmonized Commodity Description and Coding System. He said the harmonized system is a standardized numerical method of classifying traded products. It is used to identify products when assessing duties tax for gathering statistics. He added, Central Governor Dabo said overall goal of 5-day seminar is to enable custom officers and clearing agents to understand the general interpretation rules in order to be able to properly classify and determine what duty rates are applicable to import and export. It will also help them to pinpoint accurate cost analysis on trading with a certain commodity before committing to the shipment, thereby ensuring compliance. So this training comes at the heels of the recent adoption of the HS 2022 version by the World Customs Organization Council, which ECOWAS are currently implementing. He said the adoption of the Harmonized System 2022 was at the center of discussion during a recent regional workshop in Abidjan, organized by the World Customs Organization under the EU program for the Harmonized System in 2022 in Africa. The Commissioner General Dabo added that the training will expose participants to the Harmonized Commodity Descriptions and Coding System, which will impact greatly on customs administration, regional economic integration in Africa, and implementation. Dabo commended the EU, WCO, ECOWAS, and the Gambia government for supporting GRA in its transformation drive. Those were our top stories, and now we recap the main stories on the Standard newspaper. Teacher gets 15 years for trafficking student. First Lady tells African leaders to prioritize good governance. CFA take over Dalasis, caused by Gambia goods coming from Dakar Port, Central Bank Governor. GRA trains more staff on tax digitalization. Those were our headlines, and thank you for joining us. This is Adam Anjai on Jamano Media for the English language presentation news. Thank you.